Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you're having a wonderful day, and I know this is a different video from what you usually see on my channel, but I wanted to get this out here to just kind of vent my thoughts and to see if anyone else kind of had a similar idea to me in regards to this one specific game that's near and dear to not just my heart, but to a lot of other people's hearts, and that game is Halo. More specifically, it's my thoughts on what to expect from the Halo Infinite gameplay reveal. As of recording, we are a little over 2 weeks away from the Xbox game demo event in July. So I kind of want to get this video out to, I guess, spread my ideas on what I want to see and what I expect to see from the, hopefully, gameplay reveal. We're 5 months out from launch, so hopefully we can see something gameplay related, so we have something to look forward to, because Halo 3 is coming out on July 14th. It would be icing on the cake if Halo Infinite gave us a taste of gameplay and more. So we're just gonna keep this rolling along. This is unscripted, so if I end up stuttering or if there's any weird pauses, forgive me. I'm not used to doing these types of videos. They'll get better with time. But the first thing I want to talk about is campaign, and the campaign premise is very interesting because if you've just only played the games, you're not really gonna get an idea of the scope of Infinite's story because, well, the only real locations that have been talked about in the Halo games is Installation 04, which is the Halo ring in Halo CE. Halo 2 is Earth, and I think it's Delta Halo. Could be wrong with that name. In Halo 3, it was Earth again and the Ark. Halo 4 was Requiem, and also the atmosphere of Earth. And Halo 5 was Meridian, and then another Forerunner installation. I can't remember the name of it. Halo 5's campaign, unfortunately, is so forgettable. But I do know that you do go to a Forerunner installation that has Exuberant Witness, which I love her to death. She is probably my favorite Forerunner creature in the entirety of Halo. But for Halo Infinite, we know that we're going to be on Zeta Halo. And Zeta Halo, from what I've read up on in my spare time, is very enriched in lore in regards to Forerunner and Flood history. We already know that the Banished are coming back, but we're potentially looking at fighting 4 different factions. We have the Banished that are confirmed. The Flood are probably going to make an appearance at some point. We have the Sentinels and the Forerunner, maybe Promethean show back up, but we do know that we're probably going to be fighting Sentinels on Zeta Halo. The Created, I don't know if they're going to be using the Banished or if they're going to be using like former remnants of like Covenant groups, like Splinter groups, as their proxy pawns. And then we might even be fighting humans alongside those proxy pawns. Who knows? Maybe people like being under the control of some whack-ass AI that just went rogue. But Zeta Halo, so far, it looks like it got destroyed from the first story trailer, so I have no idea how that happened, when this happened. We know that the campaign takes place around 2 to 3 years after Halo 5's ending, so it's been a minute. And specifically the armor that Chief is wearing, I don't know what Spartan armor that is. If you want to go get an idea of how in-depth these armors can go, I recommend looking up Installation 00. He does in-depth, I guess not walkthroughs, but look-sees at these incredible pieces of just Spartan armor. So let me set the stage real quick. Halo Reach through 3 used the Gen 1 Mjolnir suits. Halo Reach was the Mark V, same with CE. That's where you had the health bar and your health didn't automatically regenerate. You had set shields and a set health bar. Halo 2 brought in the Mark VI, and you use that from Halo 2 through 3. And then Halo 4, you have the Mark VII. But this is all Gen 1, and if you want to know the big statistics from Gen 1 and Gen 2, again, Installation 00, he's your guy. The premise is there. The location is interesting. The armor looks cool and looks new. But how's that going to translate to gameplay? Well, we've had leaks that we're either going to be having a grappling hook or some other stuff to get around the world. It's rumored that Halo Infinite's going to have an open world campaign where like you move from mission to mission. I don't see that happening. Maybe there's going to be like more options between campaign levels, but I can't see 343 straying away from the typical Halo campaign formula where you have a 30-second gameplay loop that is repeated over and over, but you have these interesting skyboxes and scenarios, and interesting enemy placement. I can't see them breaking the mold and going for an open world campaign. Does that mean that they might do it? I mean, who knows? They have a whole new engine to work with. They can really flex the power of the Series X with this game, and they could possibly bring a whole new flavor to the Halo genre. Who knows? Maybe open world is something that Halo campaign should really think about doing. But I can't see them really pushing forward with it. Again, I could be wrong, but I am very excited to see how gameplay is going to feel. I think it's going to be more sprint and slide, less thruster boosty type movement that we saw in Halo 5. More so because Halo Infinite is meant to be a spiritual reboot. They're also trying to bring in old fans and new fans from the series. So it's a bit of a weird situation that 343 put themselves in, because now you have to appeal to the older audience while also bringing in this whole new genre this whole new wave of FPS fans that have been playing things like Warzone, Call of Duty, all these other games. Like, the sprint mechanic will probably be there because they want to have players jump in and it be accessible. The slide I could see being implemented because a lot of games have a slide nowadays. The thruster movement, who knows if it'll come back. I think it was alright in hindsight. I didn't like it at first, but in hindsight it added a bit of a skill gap to your movement. You didn't just have to shoot straight, you also had to know how to move and out-juke your opponent. So, in regards to the campaign, what I'm hoping to see is a mission reveal, like how E3 used to do it back in the day before E3 fell off. So, like, have Chief start off in a cave, it's super dark, and then he hits, like, some helmet lights on his helmet, or he flashes some night vision. Show off the beautiful texture work and the sound design of the new Slipspace engine that 343 is using, and have us start wandering through this cave until we see a bright, blinding light coming out of a entranceway into this cave system. We walk out and we are just blinded, but it's only for a mere second before our eyes adjust, and you just see Zeta Halo careen into the skybox. Something along those ends. Have us go and, fight the Banish. Show off some of the new toys that the Banish might have. Show off the new weapons that the UNSC has. Show off that Reach AR. Show off the new BR, the new DMR. A rocket, sniper, something. Show off the brute weapon. Show off the brute shot. Show off the gravity hammer. The best part, which I think would just be perfect and something to really get the fans hype about, would be before you end the gameplay reveal, show the ring itself going into a night cycle, and as it turns to dark, you hear a familiar skitter of a familiar enemy that we fought all throughout Halo. You turn around and you see a flood form jump at you. That would be my idea of how I would promote Infinite, because I mean, you could show off the Banish, you could show off some proxy covenant / humans via the Created. You can show off the Flood, which is iconic at this point. Maybe have some Forerunner Sentinels flying over and getting involved in the action. But I hope that we see a extended campaign reveal, mission gameplay, stuff like that. Because I want to see how we're going to be going through the world. Hopefully it's not open world, but I could probably deal with it, depending on how they do map design and everything like that. But regardless, I think the one thing that we're all here for is multiplayer, and multiplayer is going to be a huge selling point for Infinite. Nowadays, people more care about, being able to play games over a long period of time. And as much as I love campaign, you can't really play campaign for 5 years straight. If there's someone in Halo 5 that's been playing that campaign for 5 years straight, please DM me on Twitter. I would like to congratulate you on going through a hell I would not want to suffer through. But, specifically multiplayer, again, I feel like it's going to use the same sprint and slide movement that we've seen in like Reach and Halo 4. Make sure that there's a descope mechanic. Don't make it Halo 4's multiplayer where it's just infuriating to play. But I mean, having to manage sprint and Reach in 5 is interesting because it adds another kind of layer to gameplay. It's like, oh, okay, well, when am I just going to full send towards an objective, or do I need to take it slow and get ready for a gunfight? Just the small layers that make up Halo's core combat loop and multiplayer gameplay, I feel makes it stick out from other FPS games. Like, I'm a huge Call of Duty fan, I'm a huge Titanfall fan, but they can't give me any of the experiences I get with Halo, and that is true to this day. And I think 343 needs to really push for that, because I feel like everyone's getting sick of BRs. They're getting sick of just this whack ass way of game design where it's like, oh yeah, large open escapes where you can't even see where you're being shot from. I feel like arena gameplay is coming back in a big way, but the Halo's arena gameplay is far different than what you see from like Quake Champions or Unreal Tournament. It's very accessible, but there's the high skill ceiling is there, unlike Quake and Unreal Tournament, where if I were to hop on, I would get absolutely destroyed. So I'm hoping that we at least see some. If there's no sprint and there's just regular old classic Halo 1 through 3 movement, I'm fine with that. I could live with that all day. I'll be so happy. But if I see a bit of sprint, a bit of slide, I won't be too worried. As long as the gunplay's tight and the movement is very tight as well, I think I'll enjoy it. But there needs to be a show match. I want to see a show match between the 343 Pro team and some of the top pros in Halo right now, because that is how we're going to see the true that's how we're going to see the true depth of Halo Infinite's casual and competitive gameplay. Because the pros, they play that game all the time, so they can show off all the cool shit. Like, a lot of people still to this day don't know that you can throw a sticky nade at a weapon drop and you can grenade it towards you. But that's been in the game, that's been in the series since Combat Evolved. Like, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know about the Halo 2 sword lunge. They don't realize that you can pretty much lunge yourself all the way across the map, both in campaign and multiplayer, if you hit a split frame drop with a sniper or a rocket launcher. It's the small intricacies that Halo has that adds depth and a skill ceiling to the game itself. And while we're talking about multiplayer, I might as well talk about HCS. I hope they don't design the core gameplay loop around competitive. That's what Halo 5 did, and while I enjoyed it as a competitor myself, I don't think it'd be good for long-term player retention, because most of the Halo fan base is casual. I hope that we can end up bringing more people from casual to competitive to kind of liven up the competition, but I don't want casuals to come in and just hate playing social playlists or hate playing like the social rank playlist. I want everyone to be able to have a playlist or a game mode or something in Halo Infinite that they can all rally behind to be like, hey man, I enjoy the same game you do. How about we play sometime? I hope that we end up getting cosmetic armor rewards for leveling up and doing challenges like how you used to do in Reach and how you used to do in Halo 4. Halo 4 had such an underrated armor unlock system, and I hope that we see something that doesn't involve rec packs in Halo Infinite, because I know that the game probably had a huge budget, but the way that you have to monetize your game nowadays is very tricky, because depending on how much you monetize, you might alienate a good part of your fan base. So hopefully we see a lot of armors that, maybe you can buy in like a store, or you can unlock in like a battle pass system, but I also want to see some really cool and unique armors that you can only get by doing challenges. I want to see some armors come out from doing solo lasso. I would love to grind out a campaign, no HUD, no nothing, all these skulls on, brutalize my existence. If that means that I can get something like Shinobi from Halo 5. Like, that armor is fantastic, and all my friends freaked out whenever we all got it. But yeah, I hope we also see an HCS roadmap. I know Tashi from 343 said that we'd see a roadmap at some point before Halo Infinite came out for a year's worth of events and possibly beyond. 343 is currently working with Esports Engine. Mr. Adam AP on Twitter, he used to own MOG before the guys at Activision bought it out and made it a CDL. So, I'm trusting Mr. Adam AP to give us a solid land setting. He's always gonna deliver on that aspect, and he's always gonna deliver on making sure that we get the best production quality. I know that we're not going to have any LAN events in 2020 because of the current pandemic that's going on. By the way, this is my little plug-in. Wear your mask, wash your hands, protect those around you, please, and so forth. But, as someone who's trying to compete in Halo Infinite, I really hope that roadmap is very in-depth, and I hope that there's a lot of money put into the scene, so that way people come flocking over. And then it builds the scene from there. If you put money into it, if you invest in the scene will pay you back tenfold. So, in regards to that, I think that's all I'm looking forward to in multiplayer. But we're going to go ahead and make a little side extension. I want to talk about co-op, PvE. what can we expect from that? Well, I hope that there's a co-op campaign, and if so, I want to see Arbiter. And if we don't get Arbiter as a second player and some other Spartans, I hope we get to see Blue Team come back. I feel like they were really underutilized in Halo 5. They're super badasses in the books, and I don't know why 343 would write them to be such fucking tanks, and then just to be so boring and utterly useless in the Halo 5 campaign. Same with Osiris. Fucking maybe have some missions where we play as Locke if he's not killed off. And then, you know, we get to explore more of Osiris's character. Buck is a fan favorite. How is he given so little screen time, and why was he so boring in Halo 5? Make Tanaka and Vale not be expository dialogue machines. Like, I feel like Osiris has the potential to be the new Blue Team, if not some new protagonists for their own Halo games or for a mainline Halo game. They just need to be giving the proper writing and the screen time to flesh out the characters and make them relatable. Besides the co-op campaign, I hope we see Firefight come back in a whole new way with all these enemy factions and stuff like that. If not, bring back some type of... If you're going to do Spartan Ops again alongside Firefight, give Spartan Ops more unique gameplay. Because personally, I enjoyed Spartan Ops. I enjoyed the story that was being told, but the objectives and the missions were same so. You would go to an area, kill enemies, hit a button. Go to another area, kill enemies, possibly hit a button. Go to another area, walk through a door, push a button, enemies spawn, kill them, this, that, so forth. It was the same formula over and over and over, and the only reason I played Spartan Ops so much was because I didn't have internet that would allow me to play multiplayer at a stable connection, so I just grinded the fuck out of Spartan Ops. So if you're going to do Spartan Ops, if you're going to come back to it, make sure that the gameplay is more diverse and it's not so samey, same so. I feel like that would help not only for a brand new PvE experience, but you can tell a extended story without having to keep coming out with a sequel every 3 to 5 years. Because I don't think we're going to be seeing a sequel to a Halo game for maybe another 5 or 6 years, depending on Infinite's success. So if you want to keep getting out story DLC, if you want to keep the single player and the lore individuals happy, maybe Spartan Ops would be a good go-to. If not, Firefight. Maybe you could tell some environmental storytelling with Firefight. Halo Reach's Firefight and Halo 3 ODST specifically did a really good job of conveying a hopelessness or like a story to the environment that you were playing in. Halo Reach specifically, I think Outpost is a Firefight map that you can play on, and it takes place between 2 AA guns right outside of Oni Sword Base during during Mission 8, where the skybox is all orange. You see these giant Covenant cruisers glassing the planet, and it's very morbid and just this feeling of hopelessness as you struggle to hold out against this just onslaught of Covenant. So, I mean, if you're going to do any PvE modes, I suggest Firefight or Spartan Ops, or maybe even both. The more content we have at launch, the better. Please don't pull a Halo 5 where we have to do a content update every single month and I have to update every single month. I'm hoping that we don't have a lofty sized game like Halo 5 and specifically Call of Duty Warzone. Because, I mean, even though the Xbox Series X has a 1TB hard drive, I'm probably playing Halo Infinite on PC. And my hard drive can only take so much space for games. So I'm hoping that we get as much content on launch and we get, subsequent content updates that don't flood the game with fucking 50 gigabytes worth of content. Which is only for like a small patch notes and maybe one map and a few weapon skins. Like, get that file compression down, man. Help us all out in the long run. And those are my thoughts and expectations for Halo Infinite. I know that this video was a bit scuffed because I don't really do talking videos that often. Not to mention this was completely unscripted. I tried making a script for this video and it didn't work. I don't know why, but I get like a really bad what's the word? I get a really bad stutter, or I guess more stage fright from reading from like a piece of paper or like my phone. So I just said, fuck it, let's freeball it and let's just see what happens. And I feel like this video may have turned out better, and it kind of gives me an idea of how long the video is going to be. So I appreciate it for everyone who did watch this video and that put up with my bullshit and my scuffed nature of creating videos. What do you guys think Halo Infinite's going to have? What do you guys expect to see from the Xbox Game Demo event? I'd love to read them in the comments. If you want to tweet something at me or follow me and see what shenanigans I get up to on a daily basis, you can follow me on Twitter. I have an Instagram. I don't use it, but if you want to see some dumb shit that I get into on Instagram, or if you just want to vibe with me on some music, my Instagram's there in the description. And if you want to go and check out my Twitch stream, which is where we stream all sorts of games. We stream JRPGs, we stream Halo, we stream every game you could possibly think of. Link in the description below. We'd love to have you. We'd love to see some new faces in the chat. So other than that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off of here. You guys have been lovely. Make sure you eat today. Make sure you drink, hydrate, get some H2O, some agua in your body. Make sure you wash your hands. Make sure you wear your mask. Make sure you tell your friends and your family you love them. Because we are living in the craziest time of human history, and we all deserve to have someone in our corner. So that's gonna be pretty much everything for me, guys. I hope you guys stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.